Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So have you ever tried to program a used ECU on a GM vehicle lately when you find yourself in a double bind, meaning that donor ECU is no longer responsive? So you put back the original and try to start the car, and that one is also not responding, okay? If this rings a bell, you probably are butting heads with GM's new innovation that's more of a roadblock than a feature. So in today's case study, what I'm going to share with you is how I was able to educate my client on this elusive new technology, and then walk him through the correct process to get the vehicle programmed and out the door. Okay, so with that, guys, let's jump into it. We are going to talk about the untold risk of installing a used ECU on a GM 2016 Buick Verano. Okay, if you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Curtis Harden. I'm an independent Autel diagnostic consultant. What I do is align the client with the right tool strategy and then give them the one-on-one training and results that you see in this presentation. So if you feel this is going to benefit you, head on over to auteltech.co.za and book the diagnostic tool consultation. Now, what you're going to learn today is the following: the necessary tools that are required to do this procedure, the understanding GM's Global A architecture and the risks involved installing used modules, and the correct approach and methodology when programming a used GM ECU, and the step-by-step process of module replacement and coding. Okay, now the tools used in this case study are the following: a Windows 10 based laptop, a J2534, and the used ECU. Okay, so a little bit of background on this case study. So this client works at an auto dealership in the automotive repair department, and he diagnosed the culprit of the problem, which was the engine ECU. Now, I advise the client to hold off until I was able to verify whether this vehicle was under the Global A architecture. Okay, and after my assessment that it wasn't restricted, I gave him the green light to purchase the ECU, and then I wanted to walk the client through the programming process. Okay, so you guys may not know, but what is GM's Global A architecture? Okay, so this is GM's advanced vehicle electronic system designed to standardize the communication between various modules in the vehicle. Okay, so it's like the backbone of GM's vehicles, of the electrical ecosystem, pretty much. Okay, but here's the kicker, you guys: it's also a security measure. Okay, so GM uses this architecture to lock down modules, making it nearly impossible to install a used or unauthorized components. So think of it as GM's way of keeping your vehicle's electronic integrity in check, while also ensuring that you're not installing a potentially compromised or incompatible hardware. Okay, so it's not about like plug and play anymore, you guys. Unfortunately, it's more like you plug, program, and pray that you don't mess anything up. And what I will tell you is there's like identifiers in these control modules, and if it's been installed and if the system recognizes that it's a different identifier, it will not only lock up that donor ECU, but when you put it back on the other one, it locks that one up too. Okay, so yeah, that's the nature of the game, guys. Now, step one: navigating the OEM service information. Okay, and this is something that I always preach. You got to know before you go. Okay, so step 4 says replace the ECM, and then step 5 is our programming procedure. How do I know? Because it says SPS programming. SPS was their older version of their programming software. Now it's called TechLine, but this is language of programming. So once that's done, the coding procedure, or the relearning procedure, is this Immobilizer Alert. Okay, and what I did was these are like different, take a picture of this. These are different components that will tell you like what the functional description is, and when this function should be used. Okay, so in our case, it's this guy right here, module emo learn. Okay, the ECM will relearn the emo passwords and data. When this function should be used, when the ECM has been replaced or a diagnostic has instructed to perform this learn. Okay, so the next step is to go to TechLine Connect for the VIN recognition. Okay, so when we start this process, we're going to keep the original ECU on the vehicle. All right, the reason why I want to do that is because I want the TechLine Connect software to inhale this VIN number, and then we're going to time it in such a way where we're going to install the donor ECU. Okay, so here's the point where I told the client to install the donor ECU, and then once that is installed, we're going to go ahead and go to the engine control unit, and we're going to select the programming function here at the bottom here, and then we're going to go ahead and click next. Okay. All right, so this is just telling us after when the vehicle has been successfully programmed, that VIN number is going to be stored in our AC Delco account. Okay, and then we have a progress screen, and I'm just telling the client here that the VIN hasn't been changed. This is still the original VIN, and we're going to get this thing programmed into the EEPROM of the ECU. So this is the donor VIN. We're going to go ahead and override it with the original VIN that you just saw. Okay, and we're going to click next. All right, so these are our current calibration files. This is just telling us that we're attempting the same calibration. We're going to go ahead and click OK, and it's going to take us to the programming menu, and it's downloaded the software from the server, and now it's going to write the VIN and give it the latest software here. Okay, this took about 15 minutes. All right, and then at a certain point when this is done, we are going to get a confirmation screen that the programming procedure has been processed right here. Okay, so you can take a picture of that, and once that is done, we're going to go to the next step, which is the Immobilizer Alert. Okay, now before we jump into that, this is going to require us to put the key in what they call a key pocket that's located in the center storage console area right here. Okay, now to access this, just remove the upper rubber cup holder and place the key into the pocket with the buttons facing up. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and continue the procedure. We're going to click proceed with same VIN, and then we're going to locate the Immobilizer Learn option. All right, so Immobilizer Learn, we're going to click next. All right, and then we have a prompt here. When programming PEPs equipped vehicles, refer to the service information for the transponder pocket location. We've already done that, you guys. All right. Okay, so now we're going to get a set of prompts for the key registration process. All right, it's very repetitive. So we're going to click the engine control module emo learn. All right, we're going to read the attention here, make sure everything is fine. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and click next. And then this first part is probably going to give or insert the key into the transmitter pocket and place all the other keys outside the vehicle so it doesn't interrupt with the frequency of this relearning process. All right. All right, so we have a 10-minute countdown. All right, I'm not going to worry about that here for you guys. Don't worry. Speed it up. All right, press the start-stop button once and press next. And once that's done, we're going to click next, and then we're going to follow the next. Do the countdown. All right, turn the vehicle to the off power mode position. And then once we do that, it's going to give us the automatic prompt. All right, wait for 12 seconds. Okay, release the start-stop button and press next. All right, please keep the start-stop button pressed until the vehicle is in power mode run. All right, and we're gonna do that. Right now it's off. All right, it went back on. Now it says turn the vehicle to the off power mode position. All right, all transponder keys have been synchronized with the vehicle. All right, press the start-stop button and start the engine. Okay, we're almost done. All right, press it again and stop the engine. And then lastly, execute the following steps. Remove the key from the transponder start, press the lock button key, press the unlock button and press on the key and press next. Okay, so we're gonna do all of that. All right, do you have any more keys? If you do, you press yes. In our case, we have no. And then, oops, let me finish you guys. Okay, right here. All right, so then we got the confirmation. Okay. And then we are done. You can take a picture of this just to confirm that it has been programmed, okay? So, in summary, always consult the OEM service information, okay? Remember I tell you guys, always know before you go. You can use this to add a higher ticket price on your invoice by separating these procedures, the programming procedure and the key relearning procedure, okay? Next, initiate TechLine Connect with the original ECU in the vehicle to ensure proper VIN registration. Don't use the donor ECU. If you use the donor ECU, it's going to store that VIN on there and you can't modify it. It's stuck on there. So get the original one on first and then at the right timing, put on the donor ECU. Third, don't skip the Immobilizer Alert procedure. Otherwise, your vehicle will not start. Okay, and you only will know that when you check the service information. And lastly, don't let the global A architecture intimidate you. There's a huge opportunity if you know the right tools and training on how to solve it. So for example, a lot of my clients were complaining that to get a brand new ECU from the dealer takes several months. Okay, and it's like they don't want you to get a used one, so what do? Well, there's tools out there that will allow you to actually take the ECU on the bench, get that information and transfer it to the donor. And what's great is you can just put it in the car and pop it right up and it takes like 10 minutes. Okay, so if you like to know this strategy as well as know how to program this vehicle, I'll help you by going to auteltech.co.za. Book the J2534 training and consulting, and I'll walk you through the installation process and how to use the certain tools to clone these modules, okay, that are under the global A architecture. All right. So with that, you guys, I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun to do. Comment, like, subscribe, and with that, I will see you guys next week. Have a good one and take care.